is when a person is doing an act of takfir or saying something that nullifies Islam out of compulsion. Somebody forcing him to do so. And the clearest evidence of this hadith of Ammar ibn Yasir, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father and mother, who was a slave at the time in Mecca, in the Meccan period. And he came once to the Prophet ﷺ weeping and sobbing. So the Prophet said, ﷺ, what's wrong? And throughout the tears, he managed to explain to the Prophet ﷺ that they kept on torturing him and tormenting him until he said something offensive against the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet asked him ﷺ, how do you find your heart when you uttered these words? Were you feeling good about it or not? And he said, my heart was filled with Iman, but I was tortured beyond my ability. The Prophet ﷺ comforted him and said, if they go back to torment you and torturing you, go back into saying negative things about me. You have a clear permission to do this as long as your heart is filled with Iman. So this kind of being forced or compulsion is an obstacle. So if someone gets to you, pointing a gun at your head and say, prostrate to this idol. If you prostrated because of the fear of being killed, this is totally permissible. And there's nothing wrong in that. Others who watch you do this can give you takfir, but it is due to their ignorance. They have to first make sure that there are no obstacles. Once they ask you and you tell them about the gunpoint, then they would have an excuse for you. However, such compulsion, such forceful act must be measured. Because not every
compulsion
is acceptable. A man comes to me, said, Sheikh, I was compelled to divorce my wife. Says, why? She threatened me and I had to divorce her. Okay, if she threatened you and you were afraid, then yes, the divorce doesn't take place. But wait a minute. How did she threaten you? She said, I'm not going to cook dinner for you. I said, Akhi, what is this? This is nonsense. So this kind of compulsion is unacceptable. It has to be serious, something that would harm you physically or jeopardize your livelihood. And it has to be from someone who's capable of executing it. I had to divorce my wife. Why? My toddler, he's 4 years old, he threatened me to kill me with a knife. And he's not unable to do this, and he can fight him off. He can do so many things. So this kind of compulsion, again, is not realistic. So this is the fourth obstacle, which the condition that must be applied is intending to do something willingly. And these are some of the conditions that must be fulfilled before giving takfir. When he made that act, when he said that statement, did he intend it? Was he doing it willingly or out of compulsion?